Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome. And if you're joining me on New Year's Eve, I just want to say Happy New Year to you all. I'll be out myself tonight celebrating with a few bevies at my local. So if you're out yourself, have yourselves a great night. Try not to drink too much. Let's behave ourselves, okay? But anyway, let's say goodbye to 2019 and say hello to 2020. But just going back through the year, I decided to pick out my top 5 favourite videos. Now, these videos may not necessarily have the most amount of views, but they're certainly the ones that I enjoyed filming the most in 2019. So we're going to get straight on into it from 5 down to 1. This is video number 5, and it is the Volvo FH 540. This is the Forestry truck. So you see it there just driving down the country road as we made our way into the forest. It's got the pal finger crane out the back. And I was surprised just how far into the forest we had to drive going in to collect all these logs. So I learned all about the ASAT system. This is the log-on system that all these drivers have to go on to before they even enter the forest to collect their load. And then they have to state how much weight they've left the forest with and where they're going to offload all of the logs. So as we watch the truck there driving over the camera, we learned all about the LH Weigh Pro system. This is fitted by JP Betts. He fits all these weighing systems to the grab on the pal finger crane. So there he is, JP Betts from Late Hose Hydraulics. So yeah, it's a very good system for weighing each grab, and it calculates it up and lets you know when you're reaching your maximum payload. But you see there, I had to go at the pal finger crane myself, but it would take a few years to get used to this crane. You see, look, I dropped the log and it rolled off. I wasn't very good at it, let's just say that much. But I left Paul there just load up his truck. Very highly skilled Paul, the driver. He could load this truck in 15 minutes easy. And there he is just driving off. But as we move on to our next video, that's video number 5. This is video number 4. I really enjoyed Truckfest Edinburgh this year. And this was where I saw the Mercedes Actros with mirror cam for the first time.
Okay, you'll be next,
guys.
Now,
you'll see there when I hop into the cab, we can see the mirror cam system. And yeah, so I really enjoyed Edinburgh. Now, some people will say, yeah, but Peterborough is bigger, but it doesn't necessarily have to be how big the show is. But Edinburgh, it's a smaller show, but I definitely enjoyed Edinburgh more so than Peterborough in 2019. But you see there as well, if I play it on, we have the Space Cab, the 3300 ATI. So this truck is beautifully restored by Lancashire DAF. They've done a fantastic job, and you see there where it's normally parked, which is in the DAF, the Leyland Trucks factory in the town of Leyland. So that's where it's normally parked on display, along with a bunch of more DAFs. But then we hopped into the Volvo FH, the XXL. So this is 540 horsepower, 2,600 Newton meters of torque. Yeah, very unusual. Oh, they're just getting the monster truck warmed up. But yeah, this is it, guys. This is your extended bed by 250 millimeters. So an extra 600 litres of space have been added to the XXL. So just looking at the exterior of the XXL, there's nothing to really distinguish it on the road when it's coming against you that will tell you it's the XXL. It's only when you go around the side of the truck, you'll see there with the extended fairing compared to the standard model there. But I mean, it's an awful lot of money to pay extra. Over £15,000 just for an extra 250 millimeters. It's huge money. But as you'll see there, later on that day, moving on from the FH, the rain came down. And when I say it came down, guys, it was bouncing off the ground, as you can see there. So this flooded the whole arena area, and then the manufacturers and people displaying their trucks, they could no longer enter the arena to do little parade laps around and show off their trucks. So yeah, the rain came down for well over a half an hour solid, and thousands of people left the arena after the rain. It was just incredible how many people actually left. And then I bumped into the road legends. So Kev T, Luke C and Trucker J. Now I met these guys the night before in a pub, in a hotel not too far away from where we're standing there. And it was great chatting with the guys, just talking all about YouTube and trucking and how they get on with the whole business. But guys, it's time to move on to video number 3. So my third most favourite video of 2019 was my visit to Wentworth Park to Mercedes Trucks UK. So you see there, I'm just hopped into the Arox, just going for a short little spin. Now this was my first time using mirror cam in a Mercedes truck. So the 8x4 tipper, we were doing a bit of a skills test, driving around all those cones, and I later found out that I won the skills test. Don't ask me why, but I did. And then I went out for a test drive in the Actros. So this is what I really wanted to do with mirror cam, just test it out on the open road. Now the only issues I would have with it is, you see that big bezel all around the monitor? Don't really like that, and the quality of the monitor image itself could be improved. It's just a bit kind of fuzzy when you're looking way off into the distance. But you see there the little line on the mirror cam. I just hopped out of the truck just to see how close I was to the cones out the back. So it wasn't too bad using those lines on the monitor. Look how close I am to the cones there. That was pretty okay. So that was mirror cam, and back on the road there, just going around the roundabout. Very easy to get used to, but there are areas there that it could be improved upon. But then we went into the warehouse and we checked out the Edition 1. So Mercedes are only building 400 of these, and only 35 examples are coming to the UK. But you see there the 4 spotlights up on the sun visor. This will distinguish the Edition 1 out on the open road. And we have that lovely gloss black finish on the grille and the chrome all along the ribs of the grille. Then the infotainment system. I just turn on the ignition and go down through that whole system and show you in that video from Wentworth Park. But the instrument cluster, very nicely done as well. I mean, as systems go on trucks, this is probably the most modern looking. And of course, the Mercedes Actros is now the International Truck of the Year for 2020. So yeah, we've got the blue lights on the ceiling, and then I switched this switch here, and we have all the multicolours that you can have all around that sunroof area. Purple, red, blue, all the colours of the rainbow if you want. Well, yeah, quite a nice modern interior look to it there. But yeah, it's very modern, isn't it? Look at the instrument cluster there. But the great thing about it as well, that if the driver before you has fiddled with all your screen and your settings, once you hop in and stick in your driver's card, it will reconfigure to your preset settings. So I really like that part of the new Mercedes Actros. And you'll see there as well, in Wentworth Park, we did this, what they call the Mad Mile. Unofficially called the Mad Mile. But anyway, it's just driving up to this obstacle on the ground, and it's the advanced emergency braking system in the Actros. So you see there, it brakes automatically, right? And my foot was hovering over the brake pedal just in case. Really like that system on the Actros. And then we hopped into the Unimog. So we went on this off-road course. I really enjoyed this as well. And then I went on, you see there, the smaller Unimog, the U218. So you see the pedals and the steering wheel, you can slide them over to the left-hand side. So I thought that was a great feature on the Unimog. So it doesn't matter what country you're in, you can configure your driving position to your country. So the U218 there. But it's a very unusual vehicle, isn't it? The Mercedes Unimog. And all the attachments you can attach to the outside of the truck as well. Sweepers, grass cutting equipment, wood shredding equipment. Very versatile vehicle. And we have there the portal axles. So now it's time to move on to my second most favourite video that I shot. And that was my visit to the Leyland Trucks factory in Leyland. In the UK. Line, watching the XF being built, we've got the CF and the LF. All these trucks are being assembled here on the production line in Leyland Trucks. And the Leyland name was named after the town of Leyland, which has a population of around 40,000. So there are 1,600 people assembling trucks here in the factory. The factory is the size of 13 football fields. You see there in the background, they do park the the 3300, the DAF, the ATI, you see it there behind me. Yeah, that's where they normally park it during the winter time. Now, this is a model of the whole production line of the Leyland Trucks factory. So look how detailed this model is. I mean, who knows how much it must have cost them just to build this model. But yeah, it was great just to see how it all operates. So that's all I can show you from the production line. But then moving on, we then moved 2 miles down the road to Lancashire DAF. Now, this is a big dealership. They had hundreds of trucks ready for sale there, and I mean, they're shifting about 1,000 trucks a year out of Lancashire DAF as a dealership. It's just huge. And you see there, I'm out on the road on the 90th anniversary edition of the XF, and the front of it is on air, and I was joined there in the passenger seat by one of the people working in Lancashire DAF. So that was quite an enjoyable drive. I mean, the XF is a very comfortable truck anyway. So then we moved on from the Leyland Trucks factory over to the British Commercial Vehicle Museum. Now, I found this museum very interesting. It's all British built vehicles in this museum, and it's in the town of Leyland. So if you're ever there, you really have to visit this museum. And I get to chat with Jeff Southworth there, and he told me all the history of Leyland, and their first ever piece of equipment was an actual steam lawnmower from 1896. That was Leyland. There it is there, look. He points it out. That was Leyland's first ever vehicle. That's what he said to me in the museum. But it was very interesting going around. I really enjoyed that tour. So that is how small it is. Featured in the ad. So if any of you guys ever look up that old ad, this little truck was just a model coming out of the water.
It is.
Then we have 2 DAF LFs. One's a hybrid and one is full electric, also in the museum. So these are trucks that DAF would have donated to the museum just to have on display. So very interesting. Then we have the Pope Mobile is in this museum as well. The old Leyland truck from his visit in the 80s. So yeah, that was how it all looked at the British Commercial Vehicle Museum. Then we move on to my #1 video of 2019. What is it, guys? Well, it has to be my visit to Scania in Sweden back in May when I videoed the Scania driver competition. So yeah, we're just flying off there. This was my first time ever in Sweden. Now, I've been to Sweden since, videoing their museum, but you see all the driver competition there. So that's all in the museum area where all this is happening, and we have all the people there from Ireland that I joined. And then we made our way over to the demo centre where the whole competition was being held. And we also saw all the display trucks. You see this? Look at this. S730, look, painted by Biele Kering. Look at the paintwork that these guys do on these trucks. Look, I open up the door here. Look at the lines, the way they continue in to the truck. Look, I mean, it's the amount of hours it must take them to paint these trucks. And then we have this truck here with well over 2,000 horsepower, a racing truck. And then we have this T-cab, look, with the roof cut off it. This is all done by Svempas. Great work on them. This is called the R999, would you believe? So look, R999. You would imagine it would have been called T999, but they actually labelled it R999. And you see there with the roof cut off, the door. I mean, how mad would it be driving this around the road? And then we have this R580. It's badged 620, but it's actually a 580 long line cab there. Also painted by Svempa. Now look at this recovery truck. This truck, guys, blew me away. I mean, I'm ruined for life after looking at this recovery truck. Just look at the whole layout of this. Look at all the equipment here. Now, the owner of this truck, it's an S650. He told me if I just pause the video, let me just roll down here right there. Now, you see this locker area down below the ram there, look. That locker area is where the exhaust after treatment would normally be. So he had Scania. Now, this company works very closely with Scania in Sweden, but he had Scania locate the exhaust after treatment system up on top of the truck. And apparently this is the first time ever that they've done this to a truck. But he's a very special customer to Scania, so they only done it for him. And he was about a month convincing them to reconfigure the whole exhaust after treatment system up on top. So yeah, his truck must be the only one factory done relocated exhaust after treatment system. And then we just move around to the other side of the truck. But just look, all the equipment, just absolutely fantastically laid out, and all your chains there hanging up. I really enjoyed looking at this. Just look at it. Look at all the tools. Everything just nice, neatly done. And there's also a tap as well that you can pull out, and you can wash your hands. You see there the tap. I just zoom into it there. Look. It's just, and all the hydraulic systems there at the back, all the handles. But that was just, guys. And there's Svempa. Look. That was my first time meeting him as well. I never met Svempa before, but he didn't have a word of English. No word of English at all. He just said, yeah, good. And that was it. But he's like a celebrity in Sweden, Svempa. And then I met Henrik Henriksson, the CEO of Scania, at the driver competition. So he arrived there to hand over the keys to the winner, who happened to be Norway. So Norway won the brand new truck. And they just had a S-Series there pulling in just to show people what they could win. Very nice competition. They had music all laid on the Thursday night, and on the Friday night dinner, and there's all the participants there, all the audience members as well, just arrived in Sweden just to support their country. But let me just pause it there, because when you look at this competition, guys, there's over 200 people in Scania involved in organising this whole competition. 30 countries, about 10 or 11 people are invited from each country, and it's just like, when we arrived on the Thursday night, we went for dinner. There was 329 people for dinner. When we finished, there was 5 Scania buses waiting to take us back to our hotels. And then on the following day, we went down to the demo centre to witness this whole competition and to support Ireland, obviously. But he never made it to the final. The final was the Norwegian driver. You see him there just hopping into the truck, getting ready. And then we had Poland, and then we had Sweden for the final. But the Norwegian driver won it. I think the reason why he won it, he just kept his calm. He was the last person hopping into the truck. But you see there, it's a skills competition. You got to knock down 4 pins, one at each corner of the truck. And if you do knock down the blue pins, you can hop out and reposition them. And yeah, it was a very tense competition. And this Norwegian driver there, he did take the brand new truck off Scania. So he's just reversing up to one of the pillars there. Now they have to drive up to one at the front of the truck and just barely tip it. And once you do that, you then hop out, and then you run down and you collect a flag, and then you win the truck. So you see the Norwegian driver, he's just knocking down his last pin, and then he drives up to that final pin. He just barely tips it, and then he has to jump out of the truck, run across and grab a flag, and then he won the brand new truck. But I thought that whole experience with Scania was just incredible. And there he is, Andreas, the Norwegian driver, and all his supporters there. But there you have it, guys. They were my top 5 videos of 2019 that I most enjoyed filming. So what did you think of my top 5? Was there a video that you thought was better than my top 5? Comment below if you thought if there's any video that you think I should have included. But I mean, there was numerous highlights as well during the year. Do some of you remember the model truck collection that I checked out? That has to be Ireland's biggest and best model truck collection. So that was kind of hidden in the video. I didn't kind of shout about it too much, but I really enjoyed videoing that. And of course, Full of the Pipe and other shows during the year. But yeah, those top 5 videos I most enjoyed filming the most in 2019. So guys, I'm going to leave you all there to enjoy your celebrations tonight, and I'll chat to you all again next Sunday for another video, my first video of 2020 coming up then. Take care, guys, and a Happy New Year!